What's up, guys? This time we're doing a Pikachu clone team. So obviously I have my Pikachu. I threw Focus Sash with Lightning Rod on it. I got Yawn, I got Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, and Fake Out. Then I put in Togedemaru. I made it level 1, gave it Berry Juice so that it gets 20 HP. It currently has about 12 HP at level 1. It has a Sturdy ability. And the whole point of this is because I'm running Endeavor on it. Endeavor knocks the Mon back down to the HP that my Mon is at, the one that used it. So the lower my HP, the better. Then I've got Morpeko, which you are gonna see is a god. Deddene is by far the craziest mouse wall I've ever seen. You'd be shocked to see just how. I think people don't realize how hard it is to take down Deddene. Like, okay, yes, obviously Earthquake's a thing, but other than that, you'll see. Okay, then I've got Emolga specifically for, when Earthquake's coming around, but to get Tailwind up so that I always have speed control, which I realize on this team I basically always have speed control other than with maybe Mimikyu and Pikachu. They get outsped sometimes. But otherwise, everything else, okay, and Togedemaru, but even with Tailwind, Togedemaru is not going to be outspeeding anything at level 1. And finishing it off, I went Mimikyu instead of anything else, like Pachirisu or something. I don't think you get Pachirisu in Gen 8. So anyway, I went Keyberry so that it gets the defense boost if it gets hit by a physical attack. And then we've got Play Rough, we got Shadow Sneak, we got Drain Punch, and we got Swords Dance. This is a physical monster. But not the MVP of the team and does not clutch enough wins in the meta with, power creep and all that. But I mean, it pulls its own, has a great ability, Disguise, and all that. Okay, I will show off the team and then hope you enjoy. Okay, so this time around I started out with Togedemaru and Morpeko, right? So they send out Ghastly and Dreadnought. So I fake out the Dreadnought, right? And then I'm going to Endeavor the Dreadnought as well. They use Dark Pulse on Morpeko. I don't know why, but Morpeko becomes a Dark type, and now so does Aura Wheel, and it takes out their Ghastly. I use Spiky Shield on Togedemaru, which takes out the Dreadnought, right? So this was pretty dope because I wasn't going up against like a hyper team. They're not using like any legendaries or mythicals or anything like that. It's just like a normal team, and this is kind of a gimmicky team of all Pikas, so it felt like fair, Okay, so it was pretty much the same strat here. I was going to Endeavor the Lucario, and I took off Air Slash from Emolga, but I still had my Fairy type Deddene at the back. So the plan was essentially to switch out to Deddene at some point. They send out their Hydreigon, which, well, I'm gonna Endeavor. Their Octo is not doing enough damage to my Emolga, which is great. I did not realize Emolga was that tanky against fighting types, but it's probably because I got the parting shot off of it, so, that helped a lot. But Emolga eventually goes down, and Togedemaru is kind of just chilling there with his single HP. And then I pull out Deddene and take them both out with Dazzling Gleam, and all that's left is Charizard. And honestly, this was a shocking match. It went so fast, and both me and the other player were having so much fun. We were shocked at what was happening, but it was a really good game. You can tell at this point I was gonna win. But I sent out Mimikyu to get the defense boost from the Keyberry, and then a Swords Dance, and yeah, I figured that's pretty much all I can do. I could have pretty much just switched out to Pikachu or back out to Morpeko and use an electric type move, but I don't know. Mimikyu wanted to pop out, and one more Shadow Sneak would take it out. GG. Alright, and they're off. So they lead a Mr. Rime and a Lilligant. Cool, so I went Morpeko and Deddene. I fake out the Mr. Mime. I substitute with Deddene. And believe it or not, this Deddene is a die-hard when there's no earthquakes around. I know that's obvious to say, but alright, so it looks like they're doing a teeter dance thing where this whole team is just gonna be confused. Luckily Morpeko doesn't get the confusion, and I do a bit of a helping hands, and that Aura Wheel, yeah, that kills the Mr. Rime. And then they bring out a Ninetales, so it's like they're a pseudo Sunny Day team. So I think the Lilligant is more of a threat, and I parting shot on it, and it does quite a bit of damage to Deddene. So I have to substitute again. But whoa, this Ninetales does crazy damage on Emolga as well. So things are looking a little down for me, but I decided to go for Tailwind. I think I would outspeed them anyway, but I just thought, look, it's more important that I have speed control with a team that's so frail. Okay, so I decided to Toxic the Lilligant, and I am just continuing to spam substitute with Deddene. I get confused on Emolga, but the Ninetales is also confused. So this is really working in my favor. Except Emolga keeps hitting itself. But I'm not going to need Emolga for too long because the rest of my team, well, yeah, I'm going to rely on my Endeavor strats with Togedemaru. Alright, so Togedemaru gets confused. I decide to get a little damage on with Dazzling Gleam. The Ninetales is confused, and then I use Endeavor. It procs its berry. So I should have gone with like Super Fang just to get the berry proc and then Endeavor later. But hey, you live and learn, right? They Pollen Puff, and the Ninetales gets HP. Is that how Pollen Puff works? Or what's... I don't really know how that one works. So yeah, my Togedemaru just goes for Endeavor on Lilligant again, procs its berry. I was hoping the Toxic would kill, but it gets confused. Why is this team like confusion based? It doesn't seem to help it much, but okay. I substitute with Deddene, and because I recycled, I got my berry back, so the Deddene is at full HP. Deddene is just not gonna go down. I Endeavor with Ninetales again, and Toxic kills the Lilligant. And now the battle starts to turn truly in my favor, as I have 2 full HP mons, even though I have a level 1 Togedemaru. That helps with Endeavor, because Endeavor knocks the Pokemon down to the HP that your Pokemon's at. So, yeah, the lower HP at the start is pretty good to get them down to like basically 12 HP with a single hit. And I can Super Fang just to proc the berries, which I live and learn now. So down goes Ninetales, in comes Meowstic. There's no sunny days, so Cherrim's ability doesn't proc. I just do a little damage. I would have killed the Meowstic, but they have a light screen up. I Super Fang the Cherrim to see if there's a berry proc. And then I just continue to do a little damage with light screen, because I know Togedemaru is just going to go down. He's at 1 HP. His Sturdy's already hit. But they're just not killing this Togedemaru, but it's the biggest threat to my team other than maybe Pikachu. That's funny to say, but this is a Pika clone team, so here we go. Now the Cherrim's down to 1 HP, which is literally 1%. And down goes the Cherrim with another Dazzling Gleam, and they substitute with Azumarill. You don't come across a substitute Azumarill anymore, but after that they see it's over, and... Okay, so this was a real challenge. So they start out with Moltres and Thundurus, right? So I lead Deddene and Morpeko, which I ended up leading most of the time. But I straight up Helping Hand Morpeko, right? And they substitute with Thundurus, and I kill the Moltres. Like, Morpeko with Helping Hand is so strong. Anything that is super effective to, it will kill, unless they have a Sash. But I make a huge mistake, and I parting shot the Regis. With their Clear Body, it doesn't work. And I end up taking huge damage on Morpeko, and it dies, pretty much. So the Speed Boost, that was that. And I wasted it. I should have known, but I honestly didn't know the Clear Body did that. So now I've got Togedemaru out, and it's level 1, as we know. It's not looking great for me. It wasn't looking great at the start, but I Endeavor the Regis. Its leftovers is healing it to quite a bit, and I don't think even like a Dazzling Gleam would take it out. But they Grass Knot my Togedemaru, they Flash Cannon my Deddene. They are trying to get rid of everything I have. I lost my item, I lost my substitute, and now Sturdy is proc. I am pretty much, these 2 mons are dead. There goes Togedemaru, and Deddene is just one of those mons that tries to stay in no matter what. So I send out Emolga, get a Tailwind up. I think I was going to outspeed everything anyway, but why not? I go Recycle on Deddene, get its HP back up. It loses its substitute, but I'm just going to substitute again next turn. With Tailwind, I know I'm going to outspeed anything. But Emolga gets hit with an Ice Beam, and it's down to 1 HP. But I Toxic the Thunderous. I substitute with Deddene like I said I would. There goes the substitute gone again, but Deddene with substitute and its abilities, it's really like a stall god. Down goes Emolga, and I send out Pikachu. I fake out the Regis. I substitute with Deddene. I still have 2 turns of Tailwind. They use Thunderbolt, but Pikachu's Lightning Rod, so no matter who it targets, it's going to go to Pikachu and it's going to get the boost. So I recycle again with the Deddene, and there goes the Switch is very healing me up way more than it should. And I double kick the Regis. You don't normally see double kick on Pikachu. I mean, sometimes you will, but I enjoy it. And there they go in forfeits. So I didn't even get to see what Urshifu would do against my team, but I'm pretty sure they could have won. Like, I don't know. I didn't really have a plan for Urshifu and, jeez, Cephalon and whatever the bug fairy thing is. Okay, yeah. So I think this is gonna be the last one. So it's Duraludon and Mew versus Deddene and Morpeko, right? So I fake out the Mew and substitute with Deddene, right? They are going Light Screens Reflect with their Duraludon. So I'm assuming it's holding Light Play, so it's gonna be up for basically the whole turn. But Helping Hands with Morpeko is gonna kill anything, like I said. Anything that is super effective against, basically. They send out their Goodra. I like that they nicknamed all their mons, but it's not going to help them here. So I quick switch out there with Parting Shot, lowering their attack and special attack. they get in Stealth Rock, which is pretty good because it's gonna proc my Focus Ash on like 3 of my mons, 2 of my mons at this point. So I Dazzling Gleam, I Toxic the Gudra, and they are just trying to take down my Deddene, but I'm realizing that this fairy type is quite the wall. Quite the wall indeed, and with Dazzling Gleam it does quite the spread damage. It's not always great, but it's nice to have because you know Deddene is going to be there with Substitute. It's quite fast. It has the ability that's going to proc it when it recovers HP from Berry, gets even more HP. Anyway, they send out their Mothra, which is actually a Butterfree. It puts my Emolga to sleep, which is what I hate so much. It's just, you love to see how many sleep turns you get. And I think I got like 5 with this one. They Hurricane my Deddene, knocking out its Substitute, but I'm probably just going to Substitute next turn anyway. The Gudra is dying from this Toxic. Emolga really put that in for the long game. So no matter how much they increase the defense of the Gudra, it was pretty much not going to help them. The Deddene is substituted now, plus the Berry proc. Its HP is basically full again. They send out their legendary Zapdos, the Galarian Zapdos. The Deddene is super effective against it as well. But it does a bit of a Blazing Kick, knocks out my Substitute. And they send out their last mon, the Hydreigon. Alright, so I substitute with the Deddene again, and Emolga is... Well, I thought Emolga was dead, but they actually doubled down on the Deddene, I think. And that procs the Berry. No, it doesn't proc the Berry because the Berry's already gone. So I am going to recycle the next turn. And there, I get my HP all the way back up. I know it's not going to do too much damage, I can substitute again later. But they actually end up going down, taking down my Emolga. But at this point I say GG. Send out my Togedemaru, I'm going to Spiky Shields with it. And do some damage. Oh, substitute with the Deddene. Yeah, they definitely go and try and just take out Togedemaru because they know Endeavor's out there. With Toxic, that'll basically kill them, and they do not realize how much damage the Deddene will do to Hydreigon. And that's GG.